Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Turing Test Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie, and today we're diving into a heated topic, AI bias in law enforcement and the justice system. I'm joined by my co-host, Rachel, who has a different take on this.
That's right, Jamie. Honestly, I think AI is just a tool, and it's not inherently biased. It's the people who program it that introduce bias.
Well, actually, Rachel, I think it's more complicated than that. Sure, humans can introduce bias, but there's also this thing called algorithmic bias. It's when the data used to train AI is biased, which leads to biased outcomes.
I see your point, but isn't it our responsibility to ensure the data is unbiased? We can't just blame the AI for our mistakes.
Kind of. But here's the thing. Even if we try to make the data unbiased, there are still systemic biases in our society that can't be ignored. And when we use AI to make decisions, it can amplify these biases.
Okay, but isn't it better to have some kind of consistency in decision-making, rather than relying on human judgment, which can be even more biased?
Actually, Rachel, that's not necessarily true. Research has shown that AI can be just as biased, if not more so, than human decision-makers. And when it comes to something as important as the justice system, we can't afford to make mistakes.
Well, we're already making mistakes with human decision makers. At least with AI, we can identify and correct the bias.
I see where you're coming from, but it's not that simple. Once an AI system is deployed, it can be difficult to change. And even if we can change it, there's still the risk of perpetuating existing biases.
Okay, but what about transparency? Can't we make AI systems more transparent so we can see where the bias is coming from?
Sure, transparency is important, but it's not a silver bullet. Even if we can see where the bias is coming from, it doesn't mean we can easily fix it. And sometimes, the bias can be hidden in complex algorithms that are difficult to understand.
Well, I guess we just need to be more careful when using AI in the justice system.
Absolutely, Rachel. And that's why it's important to have a debate about this. We need to be aware of the potential biases and work to mitigate them.
By the way, before we continue, just a quick shout out to Augmented AI, the producer of the Turing Test Podcast. Augmented AI hosts a variety of cutting-edge courses in generative AI, large language models, edge AI, robotics, and computer vision. You can get a free generative AI course at bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast or go to www.augmentedstartups.com.
And lastly, don't forget to check out Augmented AI University to upgrade your skills and become an AI expert fast. Go to bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast to enroll in your free cutting-edge AI course at augmentedstartups.com. See you next time.
All right, that's all for today's episode of the Turing Test Podcast. Join us next time as we continue to explore the world of AI and its impact on our society. Until then, stay curious.